And a jolly good afternoon from a autumnal, showery, sometimes sunny, slightly cool Winchester here in Hampshire. And today I'm just going to take a little amble around this city that has a cathedral and lots of other interesting things to see. Just a few minutes ago, as you'll notice by the extremely wet floor, there was a massive shower, in fact downpour, deluge even, and everyone had to dive for cover everywhere they could. And the rain stopped and everybody's running up and down the street again now before it does it again. So it might be an intermittent kind of walk. You won't notice, of course. I'll just stop recording when it starts doing that. I'm just going to, I've never been to Winchester before in my life before. I've passed round it on the M3 on many occasions, but never actually been here at all. I was hoping to use my Go Jauntly app to give me a few little pointers on the best little alleyways to go up and down. But the signal here at the moment, I'm not sure if it's to do with the massive thundery type shower that just went over. The mobile signal's none too great just at the moment, so if I can get a Wi-Fi connection somewhere, I can go onto that app and then actually download it onto my phone. That is possible, but I came unprepared, so to speak. But anyway, here I am right in the middle of the city of Winchester. As you can see, there's a market going on there. I noticed a German sausage stall with some bratwurst and currywurst available, and I am partial to that. If you've seen any of my German videos, you will know what I mean. So without any further ado, I'm just going to take a general little wander around, see what we see. Well, the good news is that the mobile signal seems to have re-emerged from the ether, and I think it must have been that storm that just went through had a momentary effect upon it. Anyway, first impressions are very nice. I mean, it's clearly a touristy sort of place, and it's going to attract the attention of lots of people holidaying and visiting this part of the UK. Great old buildings here, and as I've said on many occasions before, don't just look at the modern shop fronts, which tend to be permitted, but go and have a look up, see what's been preserved above head height. And it's quite incredible, very nice indeed. Apart from the obvious attractions that I dare say I'll come to at some point with my spiralling walk around the centre of the town. That's how I tend to try and do walks like this, in places that I'm not using apps or previous knowledge or recommendations, just generally following my nose. I tend to find that a little spiral from the centre of a town outwards until you run out of interesting things to look at is not a bad way of doing it. Nearly always when I post a video when I've done it like this, someone will tell me that I missed this, that or the other, but that's just the nature of it really. I don't know what specialist shopping we're talking about down here. Doesn't look anything particularly specialist along this route. Slightly underwhelming specialist shopping, but maybe I missed something there, so I'm going to head off towards the Law Courts, Military Museum and Great Hall, West Gate and Tower Street. The fact that there's an ivy normally indicates it's a pretty affluent sort of city, and given its location here in Hampshire, so close to London and also the south coast, Southampton and Dorset, that's not surprising. I'm sure that's also reflected in house prices and so on here. Certainly got a very pleasant vibe walking around, even if it is a slightly damp day. The sun's come back out again now though, so we'll make the most of it before it starts raining again, which it almost certainly will do. Well, the sign says I'm at Westgate, so I'm guessing that is the West Gate. Certainly is a very, very picturesque place. The castle passageways, that sounds interesting. When Winchester was the capital of England, a great castle stood on this spot, and from here the King of England ruled supreme across the Dominion. Now, some 800 years later, all that remains is the Great Hall and these ruins of a tower from the castle walls. These restored passageways in the basement of this tower that led out to the great dry moat surrounding the castle offer a glimpse of a world we can now only imagine. Hear thunder rumbling. It's one of those sort of days really. It's not particularly humid, but there's definitely some heavy thundery rain clouds about, which is keeping a lot of people inside, I should think. In some ways it reminds me of St Albans in Hertfordshire, if any of you have ever been there. I do like about historical cities, of course. It's a bit of a nightmare if you want to try and drive around them, but the tiny little windy streets that there are, great for walking around. Apothecary house, that's a wonderful word, isn't it? Apothecary. There's a really strong smell of doner kebab actually around here. I'm presuming there's a doner kebab shop close by. Cooking up. I think yes, as I mentioned on another video, in London, it's in that sort of funny period of time where summer's really ended and Christmas really hasn't kicked off properly yet. It's still the end of October, but I believe here will be a Christmas market. They're still assembling all the little stalls that will be here, and I imagine they'll open sometime in November, leading up to Christmas time. Oh, a really pleasant place to walk around, I have to say. I do love these old cities and towns in Britain. There's got a certain charm about them, even if some are victims of their own success, to coin a phrase, and become way too busy. But today is not too bad, partly because it's kind of in between peak times for visiting such places, and partly because the weather's not all that great today. Well, that was a nice wander around the outside of the cathedral. It's just beginning to start raining again, so I'm just going to head back towards the city centre and maybe just take a little break from this walk for a few minutes, get a coffee, and continue as soon as it stopped raining. It's not actually too bad at the moment. I'll keep going until it actually becomes a little bit too rainy. Thomas Garnier, Dean of Winchester, 1840 to 1872. Some history in this place. Right, well, having walked around the cathedral quite extensively, I can see that the Christmas market that's currently been assembled is going to be quite a big thing. There's a lot more than I showed on the video screen, and quite a few areas of it, so maybe just lots of the same options, but one can only hope that there'll be plenty of variety. It certainly is autumnal today. Those are leaves coming out of the tree there. So I'm along the weirs now, and this is the River Itchy, which is flowing very fast actually. I don't know if it normally flows quite this fast, but there has been a lot, and I mean a lot, of heavy rain just recently over the last few weeks, so I suspect it probably doesn't run quite as fast as this normally. There's a cute little bridge there and a mill on the other side. And we're on the South Downs Way here, which is somewhere where I really would like to walk the full length of at some point. Sadly, I haven't got the time for that today or this week. Thoughtfully named Bridge Street coming up just there. I imagine on a warm sunny day or evening it's quite busy along here. It's very pleasant indeed to go for a walk, but at the moment it is absolutely chucking it down, so I'm going to have to go and find some sort of shelter, I think, for a little while. Just let this shower pass. I don't particularly mind walking in the rain, but I'm not entirely dressed for the occasion today. This is certainly Viaduct Way. It's about 2 miles to a viaduct in this direction, it said. That's a nice old bridge into, looks like leads into someone's back garden actually. How about that, leading into your back garden? Wow. Slightly surrendered to the weather here, although the rain has actually stopped again. Every time I try and walk away from any form of shelter, it absolutely tipples down yet again, which is a bit of a shame because there's some areas around the outskirts of Winchester that I've seen that look well worth investigating. So I'm going to have to come back on another day, I think, and have a look a bit more widely around this city. As you can see here, there's a market going on with some absolutely gorgeous smells wafted around. It's late lunchtime really, I suppose you could say now. So I know what I'm going to do now, grab something to eat and have a drink and dry off somewhere, and hopefully have a little more of a look around this city later. But for this video, this was just a quick little wander around just to see what's going on, and of course, if you are planning to make a visit to this country in October, or indeed anything other than the middle of summer, then I would strongly recommend you check the weather forecast before you set out and bring the right sort of clothing with you, because it's not the driest country in the world, as you may have gathered today. So thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, please press like, and if you want to see some more of my videos, similar sorts of things around the UK, around Europe and around the world, then press subscribe and go to the channel and have a little look. You might find some other videos of interest. So from Winchester, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers for now. Bye. A bit like the song about Camp Granada. Disregard what I just said. I'm just going to add a little bit more to this video as the sun's come back out. It looks like it'll stay dry for a little while at least. I'm going to just take you up to St Giles Hill viewpoint above the city, which supposedly offers fantastic views. There's a couple of ways of getting up here. I'm taking the more direct and more strenuous route, which is absolutely not accessible. I think dependent on your accessibility requirements, you would need to stick to the road, pavements on the road. Alternatively, drive up. But it's quite a steep hill by the looks of it. I'm taking this route. And hoping that it doesn't pour down again, but it's looking pretty brilliant, pretty good at the moment. Good old England, eh? That's a nice bit of exercise coming up there. Right, so from high above the city of Winchester, there's the cathedral right in the middle of the screen, and the high street I was walking down about 20 minutes ago, and suddenly the rain stopped, so I thought I would, after all, come up to St Giles Hill viewpoint, where I am now, for this fine view across this very, very picturesque and interesting city. There's plenty more to see here, I have to say, as you spiral outwards from the centre, and I'm going to be back in the not too distant future to do some more. So it really is goodbye from me this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers for now. Bye bye.